Hey guys, in this video we are going to look at combinations of cosine and sine and how can we integrate that. Okay, so we've got cosine to the power 4 and then we have sine to the power 3 and we're trying to integrate something like that. Okay, the first thing you do is you look at the powers. Okay, so here we have a 4, which is an even number, and then here we have a 3, which is an odd number. So if there is something odd, so if you have an odd sign, okay, then the sub is cosine, so you will be cosine x. If you have an odd cosine, then you will be the other one, sine x. If you have them both, so odd sine and cosine, then you actually have a choice. You can do cosine or sine, but I always recommend doing sine. Why? Because it's easier. Because the sine, sine of the sine. When you take the derivative of sine function, you will get cosine, not negative, so you don't have to worry about the negative. Now, if they're both even, then you cannot do substitution. You will have to use what we call half angle formulas, okay? That's a separate, completely separate video. This one, though, we only have one odd, and that's sine, so our substitution is going to be cosine. So we're just going to put cosine x over here, and hopefully you remember that when you take the derivative of anything that starts with the c, it's negative. So will be negative sine. Okay, all right, so next what we need to do is express our integral in terms of u. So how do we do that? Okay, so let's just take it one step at a time. So we've got cosine to the power 4. Then the whole idea here, so why is sine odd, then the substitution is the other one? Because we are going to take the sine cubed and we're going to split it into sine squared and reserve one more sine x, right? So you just split in the cube, which is multiplying an expression 3 times by itself, and just setting aside one of them, and the leftover is going to be 2. So this part right here, that becomes du, right? We just saw du equals negative sine x dx, except you're going to have a negative. Okay, that's kind of a bummer with the cosine, is because you have to worry about the minus sign. Okay, now your u was cosine x, so cosine to the power 4 will become u to the power 4. So this part is going to be u to the power 4. But what about the sine squared? How do I express that in terms of u? Here you have to know the trigonometric identities. Okay, so you have to know that sine squared plus cosine squared is equal to 1. And from here, you can now solve this for sine squared x by subtracting cosine squared x from both sides. So here you got 1 minus cosine squared x. But wait, this right here, this 1 minus cosine squared x, we know how to express that in terms of u because u is cosine. So we're just going to have from here, that's just 1 minus u squared. Okay, so let's put this together. So we've got u to the power 4. We've got 1 minus u squared in parentheses. And we also have a minus, right? This minus right here. Now, you can't integrate yet. Notice how they say be sure to simplify the integral so that it's ready. Why is it not ready? Because right now it's a product. U to the 4th and 1 minus u squared. You cannot, never, ever, ever, ever integrate a product as product of each factor. It does not work. So what do? You have to distribute. Okay? So you're going to get negative u to the 4th. Okay? Then the 2 minuses will give you a plus, and then according to rules of exponents, 4 and 2 will be added. So it's like you multiply it 4 times and another 2 times. So the total is 6 times. Okay, so now we are ready. We converted our integral in terms of u only, which is great. Next, we are going to just evaluate it, which is super easy because this is just a regular power rule for integrals. So we add 1 to the power. We got 5 divided by 5, right? And this is going to be u to the power 7 divided by 7. And we are basically done because at this point, we just have to remember, you can't leave it like that. You have to plug in cosine x back in for u. Okay, so you started with something that has x, you have to wind up with something that has x. So we can put the 5 in between. That's kind of customary what people do. But what that really means is you take cosine first and then you raise it to the power. Now this should be a plus sign here. And then I'm going to divide that by 7, and I think I'm done here.